This is our last session, Friday talk session this year. And we are happy to have Professor are part of two. She's a full professor and chair of Sustainable Innovation and Transition. She's a founding member of the Sustainability Transition Research Network. She's also Sustainability Ambassador at Eindhoven University of Technology. And also she's with us as an adjunct professor at Cool Department. Today, she will present her work about transformative academia, university as a change agent in sustainability transition. Okay, can you see my slides? Okay. Well, thank you very much for this kind invitation. As mentioned, I'm a sustainability ambassador at my university. I am at a technical university. Eindhoven is a technical university, just like NTNU. And I would like to share a few thoughts and observations about the role of universities in bigger sustainability transitions. To talk about transitions, I first have to talk about challenges because the way how we respond to different challenges depends very much on how we frame them. And when you look into the 60s, when the first environmental problems appeared, we saw a pollution in the air, and we were trying to react to this pollution by putting a filter on a chimney, so very end-of-pipe type of technology, and requiring very specialized type of knowledge in order to minimize the problem. And with time, we sort of saw that this is the industry that this pollution is coming from. So we got a bit wiser, and we thought, now if we close the loops, if we recycle at the industrial side, if we improve, optimize the processes, then maybe the pollution will be taken care of. And that meant a very managerial type of competencies. And with time, it was also recognized that it's our consumption patterns that are driving the problems in our environment. So we thought, now, if we develop ecological products, then maybe this will help us deal with the problem. But it didn't. So as you know, we are dealing with a number of very intricate type of challenges. They are socially constructed. Sometimes we call them wicked, persistent, or very unstructured. We all contribute to these problems, and they manifest in the fact that, you know, when you look at the boundaries, planetary boundaries, and what the planet Earth can deal with, we've passed 6 of the 9 boundaries. So, and it happened in the last 20 years. So this is a current generation that is really making use of all the space. And what's particularly interesting is that on the one hand, you know, we have all the knowledge, we have so much innovations, there is a prosperity where we are. There's a lot of global turbulence. So how come that we cannot deal with those issues? And many people are calling for redefinition of our development and what we mean by prosperity, which is very often, you know, terms framed in economic terms. But yeah, much attention is being paid to the fact that no economic system can really thrive on pure self-interest. So instead of this invisible hand in economics, people pay attention to invisible heart. Jackson in his book is talking about redefining prosperity. You know, yeah, money is important, but it's also family, it's also the health, community, love. I think no one will disagree with that, and I think we all recognize a broader set of values. And Professor Rayworth from Oxford, she also recognized that not only the planet is overburdened, but to be reconciled people who do not have access to basic utilities such as energy, water, food, or health. So she introduced this social foundation, also social boundaries, and proposed to redefine a prosperity development as a thriving economy, but within those ecological and social limits. And this need to go beyond sort of growth discussion has been recognized by European Commission. There is, last year there was a conference where, there was a lot of discussion about, if we continue on this path, then we will very soon have a problem. We already have a problem. But it's a very difficult issue to sort of even engage in the discussion about, because we even cannot agree about what the problem is. And what's behind that is our personal set of values and how we treat nature. And some people think now nature should serve humankind, but the other people are saying now it's intrinsic value, so we have to really protect it. What is certain is that really there is urgency. So we need to take action. And the area where I work is extending the notion of innovation from product, from process innovation, towards innovation of whole systems through which we provide our human needs. And if we define, if we extend this, if we innovate whole systems, that means that it's not only the managers or specialists, certain type of actor that need to be involved. All of us have to be involved, the whole society. And it's very important to also have a vision. And when I talk about these systems through which we provide human need, I mean, for example, energy system. And it's not only about the production and consumption, but also the whole set of, incentive structure, markets, policies, our social practices. So if we want to move away from this fossil fuel based type of energy system towards more renewables, it means a lot of changes in these systems. So that's what this systemic change, the social technical system type of change is what I mean. And that means that all of us have to play a role in that. And universities are particularly interesting because we are doing research and education. We are educating young generation. And we can also lead by example. But when I initiate discussions at my university about sustainability, it's very difficult. Between technology, sustainability is highly normative. So we are not, we are engineers. So we talk numbers, and I'm myself also an engineer by first background. Um, we talk numbers and facts, and this is about something very normative. And sustainability also challenges the paradigms, the way how we organize ourselves, how we do research and education. It's very complex and confusing, and very often, therefore, brings only the usual suspects. So in many ways, universities are reproducing this very exploitative relationship with people and the environment, and to become a bit more, to play a role in this bigger transitions of these systems that provide human needs, we really have to transform ourselves. And that means broadening our partnerships. It means developing different competencies. It means organizing ourselves in a different way, and also probably different types of knowledge that is necessary in order to address these socially constructed challenges. And SDGs, as much as they are criticized, they are also very often used by universities and a number of organizations to offer directionality. But my colleagues from SPRU, they have found out that very often when you look through SDGs, you can see that where our research is not necessarily aligned where the challenges is. So the beneficiaries of our research are not always the challenge owners. And to give you an example, SDG 3, health, most of research is about global north type of problems. So the beneficiaries are us in a rather rich, affluent context, and not so much the global south. There's also this whole discussion about excellence-based and impact-based incentives, and very often we are framing problems as technical and we solve them in a technical way. But mostly it's highly political. It's about deprivation, it's about social inequalities. So focusing on one SDG and taking this very technical perspective, that does not give us really full picture. So there is a strong move in reality, but also it's discussed in the literature to go away from the very traditional type of teaching of fundamental research that is also towards more systemic, towards more whole person approach, transdisciplinarity, co-creative engagement with society, and I call this form of being at the university transformative academia. But it's not easy. So we are researchers. It means that we are part of the system. We do our research in a certain way. We have other plans. We cherish our own academic identity. There are very often tensions between societal relevance and academic process, a knowledge process. We are assessed based on publications, citations, how many PhDs we have, and not so much about what impact we make. It's very difficult also to measure impact. And there is also a debate if research activities should be oriented. So this causes quite a lot of struggles. And then also our education at technical universities, so means, our reward have the social layer. So I'm trying to bring this social aspects to our technical discussions, to think about the collaboration as a very important skills that students should have, but collaboration in a transdisciplinary way, not only so involving different disciplines, but also going beyond academia and doing it in a way more co-creative way. So really defining what the problem is together with the people rather than, us mingling what's the problem, then solving it and providing solution to society. And it all scientists, what type of sort of feeling for the fact that we are producing the problem in a local context, but it has a very global perspective, and that we really have to think long term. In the short-term actions should be thought of in the longer-term perspective. And for the valorization for our partnership, I'm at the university, which is in the industrial area. We collaborate a lot with an industry. So for us particularly, it means going beyond triple helix and really recognizing way more societal actors as important for a bigger change. So as I mentioned, we are down south here, in the map. We are a technical university with only 2 social sciences department. I mean, where there are also social scientists like me. I'm also a convert from engineering to social sciences. So also I understand the technology and engineering. And very strong industry relations compared to NTNU. We are also small and very young university. And in my role of sustainability ambassador, I decided that I want to engage in the discussion with my colleagues about what is sustainable university. So if we want to become a sustainable university, what does it mean for our research, education, campus, operations, governance, and valorization? And the first thing I have done was to set up a organizational structure. I set up a team. I mobilized some funds. We developed communication channels. We put sustainability in our strategy as very important priority and goal. We also looked at where we are with sustainability, because that's very important for discussing where we want to go, what's our desired end state, what's our vision about the future. And we are now busy developing a roadmap and a set of monitoring tools to guide the whole thing, all the work. We developed a narrative. So in line with what I just said, we recognize the fact that we surpassed both social and planetary boundaries. We are committed to restoring the balance. We understand that that means quite a substantial systemic change, a transition, but we do want to take a lead. So we want to be a leader in this process, and that's why we are implementing sustainability in those 4 areas. Yeah, I think your university also has a vision. For us, it's about really embodying sustainability and proactively engaging with societal challenges. Visualizations were made. It was a very bottom-up, very participatory process. So I'm not a director, or I'm not an administrative. I'm a researcher who is really concerned with with justice aspects. So I do everything bottom up. And we defined what we call transformative TUE, which is really about seeking societal relevance, addressing sustainability challenges, and really rethinking how we do our research, education, governance, and operations. Let me see, 3 more minutes. So we looked at where we are with our research on sustainability, and this is not really an indication, but sometimes it provides a starter for discussion with my colleagues. So about 12% of our publications in the last 20 years were somehow linked to sustainable development goals. And this is almost half of us, half of the researchers who try to make a link in a self-reported way. Of course, doing it does not mean that we are more sustainable or less, but we did quite a detailed study, and it provides a little bit of a discussion point in different departments. We compared ourselves with other universities. You can then talk about, the structure of our knowledge system at TUE comparably with other universities. We are really a university that does a lot on energy and with industry. Health and water is a little bit on a second place, although water is declining. And our collaborations, we are very collaborating a lot with industry, but our collaborations are not so transdisciplinary. They are mostly interdisciplinary. So we get challenges from others, and we are coming with solutions. I think this is something that that needs attention and has to be discussed. I don't want to go into details into that, but we also looked at our citations, and we used that to identify specific communities. And this is electrical engineering, for example, and industrial engineering and innovation sciences departments that are part of 2 SDG communities. And we looked at, do these communities collaborate in a transdisciplinary way? What is the rationale? Do they look into the problems in a systemic way? Are there strong collaborations beyond academia? Is there attention to local global collaboration? So we have really tried to understand where we are. And final words about what still needs to be reconciled. I had discussions with our government and also foundations that deal with our science system. And we concluded that really technical universities, given the societal challenges, we really have to reinvent ourselves, and we have to have a debate about, relationship between technology and society, and how do we organize ourselves? Is sustainability, is this global challenges orientation what we want? How do we diversify our collaborations? Of course, there is a lot of fundamental research that is also necessary. So how do we connect productively engineering sciences with social sciences and humanities. And that also means, our rewards and recognition structure, we are evaluating ourselves as scientists. What type of, what is important when we evaluate ourselves? If we are serious about addressing societal challenges, then what does it mean for our assessment as scientists, and how do we organize our university? And at TUE, just like at NTNU, there is already a lot happening. So I don't want to go too much into details, but in all areas of research, education, operations, and governance, there are initiatives, and we are trying to bring it together and see what else needs to be done. And I am myself a researcher who is looking into the energy transition. So this is one of my projects, which is very transdisciplinary, with people aggregating their distributed energy resources so that they can participate in the energy market and, for example, trade their energy and flexibility. So I think this is it from me. I hope I have managed to fit, and that we can have a little bit of time for discussion. Thank you.
Very much for your very interesting presentation. I will ask colleagues if there are any questions.